All right, welcome back to Peter Grell and the Philosopher's Time Anime Review, episode number 4. We're here reviewing the last 4 episodes of season 1. Yep, and these episodes feel like they're basically like. Here's the thing, like I keep mentioning, these episodes, like if you take out the opening and closing credits, these episodes are only 10 minutes long. They're really short, and if you edit them together, like the regular episode, these are effectively but 2 episodes. So here's what happens. Basically, in the aftermath of the previous episode, which, of course, Peter's not as good with Latia, basically got the girl show, except for Piglet for some reason. So he's in the bath. By the way, he spends this episode and the following episode butt naked. He does not put any clothes until like halfway through episode 10. Yeah. So he's like embarrassed, and Piglet shows to comfort him, and they sleep together. And then the other 3 girls show up, and then he has a 4-way, because of course he does. And then him being distraught over the fact he once again cheated on his girlfriend, he runs out of the bathhouse, butt naked in the rain, and he's already still wet. Apparently leaving behind all of his, not a lot of his clothes, probably his equipment too. So then he just soaks for a while, sitting on the sidewalk, butt naked, and then we see this ogre appear. Yes, an ogre, whose name is Santos. Yes, Antonio Santos, who's here for Lisa, the ogre, the first of the one of the ogre sisters. He really wants her. He has a strong desire for her. So he also proceeds to give him a towel to give him come up with more decency with him. And here's the thing. He's wearing a towel and it's raining outside. So they would love, I'm going to go for that. And like, oh yeah, I'm part of this guild. And then of course, basically like, he apparently just goes to the guild. And this will reduce to Michi. Which I didn't know this character was here. Apparently she popped up in like episode 3. I didn't see her at all. Yeah, this is Michi and she's voiced by Brittany Kowalski. Yep, I recognize the voice right away. Also, she has a fetish for guys with big muscles. She loves muscular guys. And as soon as she sees Santos, she instantly falls in love with him. Yes, Michi, the guild receptionist. Now, I should point out, this is the 37th series I've basically that she's been in I've seen. And which currently, I have a list of basically voice actors. Basically, I keep a catalog, a record of like how many series I've seen them in. This is actually the one with the second of all the ones I basically have on this list, which is quite lengthy by the way. Some basically tie. She has the second most, behind Monica Real, who is at 42. Yep, because I enjoy Brittany Kowalski's work, so I simply follow her work. And she's really good. She doesn't appear very much here. Like, it's like her screen time here. Like, if you basically edit her screen time together, of course, these 4 episodes, it is less than 5 minutes. So, and of course, then she just happens to run into Mimi. Well, he runs into Mimi. They're like, oh, hi, Lady Mimi. Do you happen to know where your sister is? Yeah, she's over staying in this one apartment. And he arrives there, and of course, basically, you have Peter going back to, and basically talking to Lisa about the fact that she's actually ogre royalty. And he's talking to her wearing nothing but a towel. Which I'm like, Peter, where are your damn clothes? And then she's like, oh, I'll talk about that. I want to basically sleep with you. And she proceeds to get undressed, and she's like, about doing Santos walks in. And then basically like, you dare betray me, go smash his freaking apartment, and he's going outside, and he's fighting with a freaking banana. Yes, a banana. And of course, they use sensory basically with freaking elephants. So they fight for a while, and of course, Lisa tells them to stop. So then they have a duel the very next day, which Peter wins. You know, the guy who has held the strongest man in the world beats the strongest ogre. And of course, basically, that's about Lisa. And of course, basically, they volunteer to train. And of course, the other girls really wanted to train because they wanted him to basically beat Lisa so she can go away. Meanwhile, though, Michi basically has given lunches every day while he's been training. At one point during training, Like, he goes to, like, giant size. Like, what the heck is this? And the very next scene, he's, like, back to normal. You're back normal size. And basically all these muscles he built up. Yes. And, of course, Michi is still getting all his lunches. Of course, he's enjoying it. And then, of course, he has his duel with Lisa, which he loses due to the fact he was distracted by Lisa's breast. Yes. Seriously. Yeah, I still have the adults only part of the thing, so I should keep mentioning that. So, and of course, basically, found the fact that basically the boobs were distracting, and of course, basically they chat for a bit, and of course he gets knocked out, and of course, basically he wakes up in the hospital. Of course, Peter's leaning against the window, and basically Michi shows up, and then of course Peter's like, he's like, can I talk to you for a minute? He's like, you like Michi, don't you? He's like, what? He's like, I like Lisa. He's like, you like Michi, don't you? Yep. And then, like, and then they talk to each other on the rooftop. And of course, they walk off. Of course, Lisa actually thanks him for helping him. Well, actually, and then of course, right after they walk off, Peter does not know what's going on. And then apparently the next morning, that Lisa basically, Santos and Michi slept together. Yep, they slept together. And he apparently is very happy. And Lisa thanks him for this. And of course, basically, he gets a report from his girlfriend that, hey, the goblins have started invading, so let's go. And of course, they go on horseback, let's go on vacation afterwards. And behind them is the 4 girls basically following this mission, because of course they want to do this. And that's the season ends. Quite interesting per se, that at least you gotta praise the fact that here's the, at least Peter keeps his pants on in the last couple episodes, which thank God he does that. He does like once episode 9, and the last 3 he does not do anything at all. Which, God praise him for that. Yes, definitely. Yeah. But not much else to say about these 4 episodes. But final thoughts on the first season as a whole. I kind of suspect, I didn't realize though this prior to watching this series. Like, I knew about this series. I knew about the content of the series. I knew about the manga. One thing I did not know prior to watching it, I did not know the episode, the episode's length. Because I thought, they'd be the same length as an episode of like any other anime I've watched. The only other anime I've seen that's about the same as these episodes is Isekai Quartet. But that's a cheesy anime, but that's funny. And it has lots of Easter eggs for their other animes or crossovers. This one is a regular style anime, and of course, the studio who made this first season, the same one who made Banished Harry Party, which love the animation of this one. Fun fact about the studio who made this one, who made the series for this one. Something you might find interesting about this series. The studio who made this one, which is Wolfsbane. Fun fact, this first season was the very first show they ever worked on. And here's the thing. They opened in 2017, and the series didn't start until July 2020. And was concluded in September 2020, and then no series for the entire year until they did Banished Harry Party Season 1. And then the second season show, like the following year, and then nothing for 2 years until they did one called Isekai Osen Paradise. Which might seem like something I might be into. And it concluded this year, and there's been nothing else. The studio is so active per se, but it's like, here's kind of the thing comes this one. It's like, they haven't done many series. Of course, the Banished Harry with Studio Feld, who has the series in like a year. Well, actually not since March. Yeah, and all they've done is basically the 2 seasons of Banished Harry Party, which they didn't do the second season of Banished Harry Party. Basically did it on their own. And the only other series they worked on was Dame X Prince and Lies We All Tell. And it almost seems like this is not one of the big studios. It's like this is one of the smaller studios. But yeah. So here's the thing with the very next season's show, they actually do a co-production. Yes, they do. Within their studio. And I am looking at the stuff they actually worked on. And so they worked on some stuff I'll discuss another time. Not going to discuss it here per se. No, not really. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much it for particular view. Oh, before I end it here, Wolfsbane, I pretty much have now seen 2 out of 4 works they worked on. Yeah. Of course, I do play the second season in the future. I plan to do it as part of when I do my next break. I figured though it's time for me to head back to watching Super Sentai to finish up Kuroger. So next up basically will be a review for episode Stinger. I have been delaying this for quite some time, so that'll be next, and then work on the last episodes of Kuroger, do the 100 Years Later movie, and afterwards work on my Mental Health series, which is going to be, well, you'll find out when I get to it. Okay, but you the video. Bye.